training full time, getting ready for fights, it's easy when you don't have any other responsibilities than that. Do you really still want it? And that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's a tough thing to get people ready for, and no matter how much you do or whatever, you can't get someone ready for that. They just have to experience it, and they either handle it or they don't. Just be very real with what their goals are and how I manage that, how they manage it too. That they understand that it shouldn't be a surprise when you get in the ring, you have to fight. You should not be surprised by that. There's only pain in there. Unless you're willing to confront it, you're gonna get eaten alive. So. It's just difficult to get people to just work with other people in a physical sense, not regardless of fighting. That is the biggest challenge coaches have today, is just like cutting through a social awkwardness that's a byproduct of our culture now. I'm born and raised in Guelph. Guelph through the decades, some areas are rough, but in the grand scheme of things, we are in the safest town in Canada. Canada's already a very secure country. We like to glamorize our warlike history, but we are so distant from it. But it only takes one generation for the youth to enjoy the wealth of our country before they become pretty much absolutely softened and unrecognizable from the culture of their parents if they came from a rougher place. So you don't really know what someone's going to do until they're under that immense pressure. It's not a life or death situation, but there really isn't any difference when someone's barreling hands into your face. You get a pretty intimate window into a part of human psychology that maybe is very alien to people here. Coaching someone for fighting is very similar to sending someone out into space if they've never been there before. All we do when we train is do approximations. We never can really fight. And if you do fight in the gym, hey, whatever, right? You have those sparring sessions, cool. But that should never be a regular thing, and is less and less of a regular thing the more experienced you become. But that's the strange part about fighting. We touch on it, but we can never get to it. We only ever get to it when it's actually fight time. It's a tough thing to get people ready for, and no matter how much you do or whatever, you can't get someone ready for that. They just have to experience it, and they either handle it or they don't. And then afterwards, whether or not they actually want to go back in or not, right? That's a big thing. Most people quit before they even arrive to the fight, but most people, fighter-wise, quit after their first fight. So the sport has an extremely high burnout rate, and very few people stay. I just try to ease them into the reality a little bit more gently than I had to me. I fight because if I didn't fight, I feel completely dead inside. Like, fighting has literally been the only reason why I'm alive, why my dad's alive, why my grandpa's alive, why really anyone's alive. Like, at some point your ancestors had to fuck somebody up for you to exist. Pick your poison. If you want to fight in a ring, or you want to fight for your goals, whatever the hell it is, you should be ready for conflict, and you should have the mindset to where you can overcome things. The lifestyle you're going to have to live here to achieve success, and what you're going to lose in the process, you are not ready for. And even if you think you are, you're not as tough as you think you are. Once you live it, you only do it because you love it, and you're still selfish about that love. And you have to be 100% honest about that. I've always fought very cautiously and full well knowing what happens if you are reckless in the ring. When I do things right, I really try to have a controlled demolition of my opponent, where I control them and I break them in a timely fashion. After having a kid, the only thing that's really changed is that I'm not a priority anymore. So it's antagonistic for me to have that selfish fighter lifestyle. And a lot of parts of it is me feeling this deep guilt that I was still trying to fight as a professional during the time she was a newborn. There were a lot of things I could not be there for, and a lot of unfairness that I thrust upon my partner at the time. That's honestly been the biggest barrier for me able to fully dedicate back to this, that I want to live my life, and I want to enjoy the things in my life for a little bit before I really go back in. I'm loving the time that I have with my daughter. I train clients and I like all my clients. I get to go home. I'm not too tired. I can hold her. I can play with her. And that was not the case before. You train 3 times a day and there's nothing left in the tank. Your hands are throbbing. You can't even hold chopsticks, let alone a spoon. And you can't hold your kid. And that's probably the saddest thing imaginable. And you know that the reason why you can't hold this kid is not because you have some big payday coming up. It's because you're chasing some stupid dream you had when you were 18. And it hurts to follow this dream now. And it hurts you, but it hurts people you love around you. My name is Rocky, and I train people how to fight.